Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Night Road. Hi Ropey! I have like a bit of coffee and I have a bit of spiced rum and I had a nap during my work time. So it sounds like a it sounds like a great thing to do this night, to have a reading with Marta, except we're not reading tarot cards, we're reading the visual novel that took out all the visuals, so effectively we're reading a book. But anyways, the last time when we stopped, we opened our eyes into a new night, and we're like, what are we gonna do today? Where are we gonna go? And I already kind of made the decision that we're gonna be going to St. Basil. And I'm gonna say that I've been on autopilot for years. St. Basil sounds like a job where I can shake off some of my lethargy, see what's going on, even make some new contacts, because I'm not trying to be a complete asshole. Like, St. Basil is a place where there's apparently like a lot of thin bloods and stuff. Oh, thank you! Yay for Happy National Women's Day! That passed like 52 minutes ago, technically. It's not as good as Vampire Day, but I'll take it. Okay. Sunrise, it's at 6:45 a.m. It's later today. So it went later, later. I'm confused. Like, at some point when the sun rises reverted back a bit. Does that happen in reality too? You drive the Nissan around your parking lot a few times, getting the feel for us. Its lights come all over Tuscan. The truck handles like a bucket of KFC sliding across a hockey rink. Rink. It's sliding across a rink. Which is what you would expect after paying less than $1,000 for a vehicle this new. The warped interior panels indicate that someone rebuilt this Frontier after a collision that should have totaled it. But the electronics work, and it's nice to have Bluetooth. The Bluetooth doesn't work, but it's nice to know it's there. At least you're high off the road to see all of the Chevy Silverados and Ford Raptors. You spot the Viper Nightclub, accelerate hard, and scream to a halt outside the glass-lined VIP entrance. It's still early, and the party won't start for hours, but Lito is already aware. You see his Ego Riga parked nearby. You sort through your maps and guides, checking nearby hotels and making sure you have the place to stay in Phoenix if you can't make it there and back in one night. A Morto flunky in an Ed Hardy shirt runs up to your Nissan with a portable push-button lockbox like the ones outside of Airbnbs. He also gives you a pass so that you can get inside St. Basil's as a janitor and say, "He's in the morgue." You toss the box into your duffel bag, clip the pass to a lanyard, and peel out. There's so much car talk in this game, and I don't know cars at all. To be fair, it's not any worse than them showing me pictures of cars, because I would totally not have understood pictures of cars either. So, text works. One thing that's good about being alive is that you can still enjoy some rum. Actually, what color is it? It's dark enough that I could actually pretend that it's that it's not rum. Way! Going with the aesthetic. Come on, RuneScape music, you can do this. Ah! You added like a minute of silence to this track. Got it. For reasons! It's spiced rum with coconut and vanilla. And I can't feel it. Like, I get drunk off like half a bottle of beer, but if it's whiskey or rum, it's like my body just goes, derp, we can't process this shit. It just goes. As always, you've done your research. St. Basil's Hospital in Phoenix is a crowded, underfunded Catholic hospital that began as a psychiatric facility. It was corrupt even before the Canaanites moved in, with multiple scandals involving patient abuse, embezzlement, and accounting fraud that reached the local papers. You already noted exits, nearby safe houses, good places to park, and several abandoned buildings where you can hide if things go bad. Julian calls you somewhere around exit 200. Do you want to know what's on the USB? He asks. You glance at the duffel bag. The push-button lock isn't one of the cheap ones you can defeat with the tricks you know, and besides, the USB is probably encrypted. Then you glance at your phone. Julian is insane to call you. Anyone could be listening. Before you can answer, Julian says, St. Basil's is getting a makeover, big floor-to-ceiling windows, some modern admission systems, a new morgue. In other words, no place for rots like us to hide. The Eagle thinks it's an SI hot plot. I'm not so sure, though I bet they would love to pick up homeless rats when they're forced to flee. Since the Eagle doesn't want that, the USB you're carrying contains instructions for how to freeze out the hospital's current director and keep things as they are. But we can do better, Babylon! Just because Boss is a brilliant financier, I'll give him that, and the artificial paper trail he's created will bury the current director, force her out in favor of some brainless lackey, and keep his creatures safe. But it can also be used to transfer power to someone else. Someone like us. You consider what to say. You shouldn't be having this kind of conversation over the phone, but so far Julian has avoided saying any words that might get flagged. You just need to do the same and then get rid of the phone. Great, that's another $100. Thanks, you asshole. Okay, look, I have decided that I am gonna be flirting with the gangrel prince elder, like, until I die. Despite the fact that that is definitely not gonna be... It's like my character's a neonate. That's never gonna be reciprocated, and it's never gonna end well, but I have made my choice. I have chosen sanity, your move, game. Julian, we knew when we were a fledgling, and he disappeared, and he didn't tell us anything before disappearing, and now he reappears, and he's acting all, well, ruthlessly, really. Doesn't care for safety all that much and all of that, and yeah, he's great, and probably has money, and looks like a K-pop star, but it's just not my guy. I decided to die on the Gangrel Elder Hill, so I'm dying on the Gangrel Elder Hill. Yeah, you know I'm not gonna kill a whole bunch of cancer patients so you can have a new base, right? You're not gonna pull the plug on anyone, Julian says. You won't even have to destroy any of our kind. All we're doing is transferring control of resources from one of the Eagle's flunkies to us. It's not like the people in charge now run the ranch for the good of the cattle, you know? How can it be worse? Well, Julian, I chose to romanticize the Eagle, goddammit, fuck off. The process is simple. Gain access to St. Basil's computer system and install the computer code I'm sending you. It's self-executing, so just drag and drop the little file and then double-click it. Just don't let the local boss figure out what you're doing until it's too late. One last thing, there's a Motel 6 up a mile up a road. Walk into the public bathroom on the second floor and leave your phone in the trash. Don't destroy the sim. Ah, little pun there. Anyway, I put a fresh phone under the bathroom sink. Do all that and the side team on our tail won't find and destroy you. Good luck, Babylon. Being hangs up, you pull into Motel 6 and do what you're told. Your phone is in another disposable burner. Julian, you realize, isn't hiding from the Second Inquisition. He's using what they think they know to move them around the board, in a game you don't fully understand. You wonder if the Banu Hakim fully understands the game he's playing. Probably not. As you get back in your Nissan, your new phone buzzes with an email arrives with a zipped executable file. You stop to check the email and commit it to memory because it includes an updated list of keywords SI is scanning for. Ooh. I wonder what they are. Can keywords that this eye is scanning for? Is it things like kindred, vampires, canites, blah 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 blah? Or did someone like start making more bullshit terms in order to run around the Second Inquisition, and the Second Inquisition is coming up and with the catching them, and then people are making up new bullshit terms? Because like I wonder if somebody's just like there, okay, we can't call each other's like anything to do with kindred or vampire, okay? Dick nozzles. Listen up, all of you dick nozzles. Let's just sound like really drunk teenagers. That's a thing. When I changed my style to this, I checked my pictures. Ones that I had from 14 years old, and ones that I took really recently. And it made me feel so good because I feel like I haven't aged. Yeah, dick nozzles. You know, how to trick the Second Inquisition. Just be a dick nozzle. I mean, of course my camera's a bit shit. So there's that. But that's me at 14. I mean, you have a physical comparison right next to her right now. But I suppose I'm getting like a couple of eye wrinkles and stuff, but I actually have gotten whiter, which I don't know how it works. But I mean, other than that, I looked really different, somewhere like in between. Yeah. And then I hit pictures and I was like, wait a minute, outside the fact that I have a couple of gray hairs, you know what? This is fine. We're fine with that. Traffic is thick that evening, so it takes you almost 2 hours to reach your destination. You turn left to Circle K and have no problem finding a parking spot near a chain link fence. You step back and examine your truck satisfied. You can reach it from multiple directions. Your knockoff Panerai says 8:25 p.m. St. Basil's is a Baroque monastery that looks like an invader from an older and darker city back east. Its bricks are discolored, its windows high and narrow, and one doomed attempt to modernize the structure just makes it look like a prison with a single watchtower of dingy glass and black steel. You can feel the sickness emanating off St. Basil's, the impossibility of healing. Oh God! That is precisely what you want to hear about the hospital that you're going into. The impossibility of healing. Also, are you sure that it's not just like, depends on who you're asking? Because I would be like, oh, so you're saying that this hospital looks like a cemetery? Cool, I feel very revitalized. You watch the main entrance for a few minutes, feeling out the rhythms of the patients and staff, then grabbing your sword in its canvas bag and walk around to the emergency entrance. Now we have a janitor's pass and we're bringing a fucking sword. What's wrong with me? I mean, sure, that is the weapon that I got for defense, but if we're sneaking in to be a janitor, that... So Bob, just like checking in for your shift at the janitor's work today? Yeah! Check out my sword! Neon yellow ambulances look like space invaders among the crumbling gray bricks. A few MTs are outside smoking cigarettes under the no smoking sign. Another entrance is locked and heaped up with trash, broken beds and furniture that no one ever got rid of. You don't see any other ways in that aren't locked with mechanical or electronic locks. There aren't a lot of cameras out here, that's good to know. You leave your Lobo outside, promising them that you'll let them in if something dangerous happens. Yes, to kill the road. I'm just... Look, the cockroaches have gotten really big in there, alright? You can't blame me, it's like we're having an Australian thing infestation by now. Then you shoulder your duffel bag, walk into reception, and immediately understand why Leto gave you a passkey. The place is locked down like a liquor store. The reception desk is behind shatterproof plastic, the elevator is locked with a key code, and the main double doors that lead deeper into the hospital aren't just locked. They're watched by private security guard. The waiting area is full of people slumped in slashed up wooden chairs with orange cushions. It smells like apple juice and bleach. Oh boy. I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember the smell of apple juice. Isn't it like vaguely vinegary and sweet? The sensation that I'm best with apparently is touch, so my smell memory is just not there. Yeah. It's like there are meditations, okay? There are meditations that help you figure out which sensation of yours is absolutely best. It depends on like how well can you remember sounds, how well can you remember visuals, like can you visualize well, like can you visualize a taste, can you visualize a smell? My best sensation by far is touch. I'm blind deaf, but I can grab my way around imaginary worlds, no problem, which is really bizarre. So like textural sensations, fluffy, hot, cold, that's like super easy, but freaking smell? You're like, what does apple juice smell like? Julian babbling something about how modern statecraft is largely a project of internal colonization. Whatever, you have a key, you swipe yourself through. Light flashes red. So of course you try again because it's just an old-fashioned magnetic strip card. The light flashes red again. The guard, bright yellow taser on his left hip, Roger LC9 on his right, hasn't looked up from his game of Candy Crush, but one of the receptionists is watching you. Shit! This is what your first night working for the Tuscan Camarilla, and things have already gone sideways. You can't just stand here running this busted car through and through again. And this isn't that sort of place you can just talk your way into. You're scanned awaiting patients, counting the junkies. There are a lot. Okay, you can't talk your way into if you actually looked like a friggin' janitor, okay? You just go, I'm trying to report for my shift and for some reason my card doesn't work. You can't do that if you brought a fucking sword. Just, thought. Does one of them have bite marks? Some amateur vampire didn't lick the wound clean. Or worse, the kindred here are so thin-blooded, they don't even have the ability. Instead of worrying about that, you focus on finding your way in. I mean, if you looked at the freaking junkie that has bite marks, and you're trying to get into a place that has a lot of kindred. Put two and two together. Maybe ask where the junkie has been and how has he gotten in there. You know, that sort of thing. There are 3 ways inside from this room. The double doors with the card reader that won't read your card. A stab door that's locked from this side. You can't exactly pick the lock in front of the guard. And the elevator, which is locked with a keypad. Saw some unattended entrances outside, but all the ones you noticed had mechanical locks. Maybe you missed one. You could search again, though it wouldn't be easy to skulk around outside without drawing attention. Okay, let's show our stats and figure out what we're good at. First I mend my wounds is a good idea. I feed is also a good idea. But, we're not that we're a really weird gangrel, okay? We're not that strong, but we're kind of composed, intelligent, have a lot of wits, and quite a bit of resolve. And we have all the academics of weirdness, investigation, technology, and survival. Got it. Okay, so first I mend my wounds. In front of everybody. How much wounds do I have? We can do fully, I think. Okay, how hungry am I? Oh, oh, the hunger. Oh, the hunger. Walking on full hunger is not a good idea, probably. Is there anywhere to feed before I go inside? It would be easier to feed inside St. Basil's, but Phoenix is a major city and you're permitted to hunt here. Already done the necessary research, so you don't bother consulting your guides again. There are bars just east of the hospital where a persuasive and charming vampire could find a little romance and a little food. Or if you're not the romantic type, you could head into the suburban blight and feed on someone who's already asleep. Between the bars and the blight are empty lots and underpasses full of derelicts you could jump. For something a little more upscale, there's some semi-private function going on at the hotel within the 10-minute drive. Any parade there might also have money, and you could always use some more money. Vampires looking for bagged blood are out of luck outside of St. Basil, since everything is run through the hospital. Local kennels and veterinary clinics are also closely regulated, but your research indicates that the Phoenix Zoo sees occasional use by the local gangrel. I'm sorry, does somebody have like a familiar polar bear in there or something? I need to know. Okay, Shadow and I coordinate to bring someone down in an alley. Shadow is my wolf, which this game calls a lobo, which I kinda understand as like a ghouled animal thing. Looking for you, the neighborhood immediately around St. Basil's is a rundown cesspit of urban decay and quiet desperation. The night is still young, but it's full dark by the time you jump a fence and crawl through the urban wasteland between an evangelical church, parking lot, and a travel inn. You spot someone under the palms, desperately trying to hold it together. You don't know what's wrong with her, but when the wind shifts, you can tell it isn't the kind of drugs that mess you up if you drink from her. You follow the woman across the street, just outside a local radio station, a trash stone lot in deep darkness away from the traffic. She raises her fist to bang on the side door. That's when the shadow knocks her off the ground. You're on her instantly. Your fangs sink into her neck before she can scream. She doesn't even struggle, just goes limp and seems to accept whatever is happening as you drink. And drink. Okay, flashbacks. Well, hopefully we're not gonna drain her. I mean, we were at 4 friggin' hunger. I kinda like this friggin' tag team. Where I'm apparently pushing over a drugged woman is like too big of a job for my vampire, so she's all like, "Go, Gold Wolf! Go!" February 2006. I would have been 12 years old. Close to when that picture was taken. I had to double check my own birthday. Yep, I would have been 12 years old. You've seen Alien, right? Julian asks. You glance up from your disappointing meal of bagged blood poured into a champagne flute. Your payment for the latest job. Your elder, by about 5 years, looks determined to give you another lesson. Your bloodied knuckles are mending slowly. Julian already looks pristine again. You know how the alien can only attack if you're carrying a weapon? That's Predator, you say. No, it's Alien, Julian says. Anyway, I'm making an important point. The last job got a little rough. I may have turned invisible and stopped a guy like the alien in Alien. That's Predator, you say. My point is that when people come at you with guns, okay, sometimes you have to kill them or destroy them. If they're your fellow Canaanites, but we're not murderers, Babylon. We have beasts inside us now, a monster that exists only to feed and kill. If we let it loose, it will burst out of us like I don't know. I can't think of a metaphor. How do you control it, you ask? If you gotta kill or die, you kill, but no killing to feed. No killing because it's an easy way out. This strengthens the beast. A lot of Canaanites say we're predators, Babylon, but we're not. We're parasites, and parasites don't kill their hosts. Oh shit, you're right. I was thinking about Predator. I even had the Predator versus Parasite metaphor lined up. And I'm sorry, but look, if you need to kill to survive, that's fine. But anything else will destroy you in the end. You see, this doesn't work. This doesn't work, right? Because, a farmer with a flock of sheep that tends to the sheep and then slaughters them for food when he needs them. He's not a parasite as such. You need your host alive when there's only one host. Host being alive reduces in meaning when there are many hosts. So, no, that didn't work. Why am I licking my own teeth? You realize too late that you're out of control and you can't stop drinking. But finally you pull away. You stopped! You're still in control of your actions. You check the woman. She's dead, her face white, her pale eyes wide and staring. Ooh. I like how we're actually still in control, but we killed a person. That doesn't sound like we're in control. That doesn't sound like we're in control at all. Okay, I'm gonna make this look like a regular murder and not drainage. You don't like all the activity in the radio station nearby, so you drag the dead woman behind the dumpster. It's fairly easy to make this look like a random act of street violence. Find the broken bottle and spend a few minutes slicing up his face, hands, and throat, making sure that you hide sign of fang marks. Then you drop him on the concrete and kick him in the head a few times. That ought to do it. Wait, you dragged the dead woman? Him! Okay, I think somebody just didn't proofread this because, otherwise I'm gonna assume that we also killed the guy and staged the scene. Okay, time to get into this church thing. You know what? I'll just pay my way in. I still have some money. Bribery is a complicated business, and you hang around waiting for the right opportunity. After the EMTs lurking outside deal with the arrival of a new ambulance, you approach one and explain your situation. He seems friendly and willing, so you hand him $50 and walk in through the emergency entrance. But just as you do, he heads for a guard and whispers in the man's ear. You bolt deeper into the hospital. The guard rises and shouts, excited to have some action. You manage to lose the guard by hiding in a break room, so he runs past. They're going to be looking for you now. You display your lanyard prominently, hoping it will be enough. At least you're inside now. Once you're inside, no one bothers you, though the guard presence is heavy since you drew the attention. The stone walls of St. Basil's are naturally cold for an Arizona autumn, like the important, the chill and damp from some 19th century mental hospital in London or Massachusetts. Massachusetts! The city. Got through that. Though painted lines on the linoleum floors are supposed to lead to intensive care, orthopedics, radiology, etc., according to paper maps on the walls, they have a way of fading out or vanishing, turning the near windowless corridors into a labyrinth. Even your meticulous prep work was not enough, and even your sense of empathy, numbered by years of surviving as one of the living dead, can feel the miasma of sorrow and regret that hangs over St. Basil's. Oh, maybe I can find a way to help people here. You wonder what to do. Even here in this single hospital, the magnitude of the awfulness threatens to overwhelm you. There's a stretcher in one hallway that looks like it's been unattended for days. Flies swirl as you pull the blanket off the corpse. You can see the chew marks on the neck and wrist. You're not sure it's your job to bring the local Camarilla back in line, but you instinctively recoil at such an obvious violation of the Masquerade. You finally find a sign that says morgue, but as you trot down the hall, you hear hushed and panicky voices from a side corridor. St. Basil's is full of quiet, desperate sounds, but you know the smell of fresh blood. Poke the head around the corner. "We should get a doctor," a thin woman with a thin voice says. "Oh shit, his neck?" A dying man lies on the desk of a low-ceilinged office, blood pumping from the wounds on his neck and stomach. The far side of the painfully thin woman, also helping to hold the dying man down, the Bruja you recognize as Paternoster. The photo only hinted at something you see clearly in real life. Vampires do not age, but some people are born old, and their spirit keeps aging as the flesh remains immortal. Paternoster should be good-looking black guy, mid-20s, athletic, short black beard, and close-cropped hair, but somehow he looks old, as if there's a bald, fat, tired old man where his shadow should be. Crinkled lines around his eyes and slowness in his step reveal Paternoster's true age. In real life, he'll be stepping into grave around now. It's like he knows it. He looks up, and his hands previously holding out the dying man slacken. The thin woman wheezes and stumbles back into a trash can. "Shit," he says. You can almost see the vitae crackling through his veins as he prepares to unleash some Bruja power. Before you can bolt across the office faster than a cheetah and punch your head off, you hold up your duffel bag. "Carrier," you say. "Whatever," Paternoster says as the dying man thrashes. "Come here and hold Miguel down." "You don't give Miguel good odds." lick his neck wound close? Just a question, or like, did somebody like stab him? Was this not a victim of being eaten? Is this like a different sort of victim, eh? Oh, if it's important for you to save him, just give him some Vitae. I mean, you ghoul him or turn him. He's already a ghoul, Paternoster says, struggling to hold the dying man down. I couldn't get more blood into. Oh, the man vomits blood and rolls off the desk. He dies, legs kicking on the linoleum floor. You know, Paternoster says, there's no reason to let it go to waste. Paternoster and the thin woman dive onto the corpse, draining it in a matter of seconds. The Broodar gets up, he dabs at his lip with the dead man's handkerchief and says, You must work for Leto. You mentioned the name. Are you Lydia? No, she's dead. Babylon, right? Guess you did a better job than my girl here. Ooh. Well, poor guy! I never met him, but I doubt he's deserved that. If it makes you feel better, Paternoster says. Miguel here was one of Leto's ghouls, and ghouls are worse than we are. Of course, normally they can be trusted to do basic courier work, but Leto must have known things would be difficult, so he sent you. The Bruja rummages around the dead man's pockets until he finds a card for the Viper in the nightclub and the 4-digit code written on the back. Give me what you brought, he says. Toss him the lock. He punches the code onto the card into the lock and opens, feeling a USB. Rita may get all this cleaned up. Babylon and I need to talk. You said if it makes you feel better, he's a ghoul. He was a ghoul, no guy, that did not make me feel any better. Literally, your only excuse for, don't feel bad that the guy died was, he was a ghoul. Yeah, I realize that. Definitely do. Does not good make that. No. Paternoster has done everything he can to make his large, low-ceilinged office look impressive. He cluttered it with centuries' worth of executive power idols, from the Art Nouveau furniture in shining mahogany, the mid-century modern lighting fixtures, to the little chrome clicky balls on the desk. The result is a confused agglutination of talismans with no consistency or power to impress. You're dealing with someone who doesn't think ahead. Paternoster, currently wearing scrubs so he won't draw attention, settles himself in an Aryan chair behind the desk, so his head is hallowed by the water stain on the concrete wall. The walls are otherwise lined with vintage automobile ads like a Jay Leno's garage. He opens a laptop and plugs the USB in. He leans back and 2 katanas appear in his hands as if from nowhere. You blink! It's a trick, Stercorius taught me, Paternoster says. These are my friends, Duncan and Connor. That's nice, I also just bought a weapon. Maybe we can talk about that, you know, have a little bonding chat? He swirls the blades through the air. You almost laugh, but shit, he really knows how to handle them. Getting on the wrong side of these blades might be a bad idea. The blades vanish just as suddenly as they appeared, and Paternoster turns his attention to what's on screen. The Bruja takes his time reading whatever Leto sent him. You wait. Finally, he leans forward and says, I know that Leto didn't just send you to deliver a letter. You're supposed to see how we're doing here. Eagle Prince isn't happy with us. Ugh. Yep, I can't say I'm impressed either. The place is a masquerade breach waiting to happen. That puts us all in danger. Yeah, That's about it. Well, it's going to get worse, Patermaster says. The new director, Corelli? She's spoken with the cities about a full renovation. Windows, Babylon! Floor-to-ceiling windows! And worse, a remote administration system. If that happens, half the kindred here are doomed. I don't want that, and neither does Prince Leto. Director Corelli's already installed cameras upstairs. Her monitoring station is round down the hall. Right down the hall! Get your weapons right down the... Okay. She fucking knows who I am. Not what I am, but what if she figures it out? Okay, Patermaster. Why does it matter who you are? And how could somebody know who you are, but not what you are? I mean, you should be dead by now, right? So 2 options here. She knows your real identity. And in that case, you should know that you shouldn't be alive. Or she knows your fake identity. And in that case, what's the big deal? You wait for Patermaster's offer. Technically already done your job. We're talking about the game, Copper Calf, though, from what I figured out. From staring at my old photos, is, I haven't bloody aged. Well, okay, if you see me in real life, I have. Because I have a couple of gray hairs, and, you can see what people normally call happiness wrinkles around my eyes. I also have a fuller figure, even though my size hasn't changed. But that is me at 14 years old. I mean, I have gotten paler. So there's that, but like, after I changed my style, I opened that and I was like, you know what? Actually, we're not doing too bad. We're not doing too bad. The information Leto sent me is enough to get rid of Director Corelli. Well, it's not that Lithuania was like, the sea of sunlight either. But I didn't expect to lose color in the past years. And return hospital to my direct control. There won't be any renovations, any threats to my people or to Leto's base of power, but I need help. My people, they're alright, but look, they're fucking worthless when it comes to this kind of work. I'm going to need help getting this information onto the director's computer so we can make sure she's stopped. And of course I'm willing to pay $1,000 when it's done, plus there will always be a place for you here. It's not much, but a vault in the morgue is better than boarding in the park, you know? Are you in? You know what? I will help. I will help because I'm nice. But you do have to clean up your act, okay? I am trying to hit on the ego prince. And you're a problem. I mean, my character doesn't realize, but I'm just here to hit on people. I'm just here to flirt. I'm doing what I can, Patermaster snaps. Tried to make it clear how angry Leto is, but though Patermaster might be afraid of the Eagle Prince, he's not afraid of you. If he has a problem with how I run things, he can come himself or send his sewer rats or his fucking eagle. I'm not listening to some neonate carrier. Okay. Okay, morons. It's all the egos. It's all the egos. But, I'm sorry. If I come into work and the administrator trainee tells me that the CEO says that I'm in trouble, right? I don't go, may the CEO come all the way down here and tell that to me himself, for I am not listening to a trainee administrator. It doesn't matter whom the message came from. Could have been whispered to you by the tree. Okay? Yelling at the tree does not the message help. The black rotary phone on the patternmaster desk rings. Hello? What? Well, the blood can't be everywhere. Surely that's an exact... Okay, fine, okay. Okay, I'll get... Okay, 5 minutes. What? No? Sissy Spacek. No, Sissy. You're thinking of Rosemary's Baby. No, Carrie has the prom scene. With all the pics, yes, it was Sissy Spacek, I'm sure. That much blood? Jesus. Okay, hold. 5 minutes. I need to go and deal with a thing, he says. He opens an Art Deco bureau in a black lacquer and brushed aluminium, pulls out a stack of scrubs, seizes you up for a second, and then tosses you a pair. He rummages around in the bin until he finds a lanyard with a picture that looks kinda like you. Wear these and no one will pay attention to you. You're on the top left. Top left? The lanyard has an aluminum key attached to it. In the morgue. Don't worry, it's not cold, no sunlight, and everywhere down there works for me. So you're safe. Got a feel for the place. Director Cornelius' office is guarded even at night, so I'm going to need you to look around for a way in. Once you're ready, we'll sneak inside and plant the incriminating evidence on her computer. Right now I need to go and deal with something. Show yourself out. You change stuff your regular clothes into your duffel bag and head to the morgue. Your slab in the upper left looks cozy. It's made up like a hospital bed with sheets and everything. Slept in worse places. There's even a neglected lost and found nearby where your Lobo can stay, so if anything goes wrong, Shadow will be there for you. Oh, that's nice. They actually put comfy bed sheets onto the morgue slabs. That's very nice of them. I'm out of spiced rum. I was enjoying it. Sad. You're not alone in the morgue. And that evening you meet the locals. The scoutily thin Rita May is a caitiff of Ventru descent. Martha Drunken. Wait, definition for caitiff. I need this because the White Wolf wiki. Okay, caitiff is a complicated term with two general meanings. The first meaning is more of a political term. Those of flawed and unknown lineage have been abandoned by their sires. Well, if she's of Ventru descent, then she knows that. It's not so much they lack a clan as they lack the support that comes from the clan structure. It carries the implication that they were mistaken by their sire. Many of these unfortunates are considered caitiffs simply because they do not know which clan they come from, because they have not been told. It's an arbitrary title and may refer more specifically to any outcast. The second and more biologically oriented caitiff, also known as clanless, are rare Canaanites that do not officially belong to any clans. These vampires have no interest in inherent clan weakness, but no inherent disciplines as well. None of the typical clan markers apply to them. Although caitiff have manifested throughout history, they tend to do so more frequently among the higher generations. Such as the terms caitiff and thin-blooded are often considered synonymous. While there's considerable overlap, not all caitiff are thin-bloods. Okay. Plaintiff can purchase any discipline at character creation, but thereafter have to pay 6 times current rating for any and all powers purchased with experience points. Well, we know her descent, right? So, she can't be of known descent and be clanless, so I'm just gonna assume that she didn't manifest the ability to dominate and shit. A vain and prim fallen aristocrat who can't seem to keep blood off her lips. Patamuster, you already met. The Nosferatu Stercorius sleeps above you, but he keeps a larger haven in the basement with his rats. Eagle Prince gets an eagle, the rat beggar gets his rats! Rita May quips. The others are in and out. A Japanese Malkavian who claims he was martyred in the 17th century and resurrected by Jesus Christ. Tooth and bloods covered in scabs that never go away. And a woman who might be a ghost or some other kind of thing you don't know much about. They're sad, poisonous little creatures. Increasingly elitist Camarilla would be disgusted to count them as members. You spend the next few nights just getting the feel for the hospital, its deranged layout, and its ugly secret little corners where the sick huddle and the vampires feed. Followed by Shadow and their service dog West, you listen in on doctors and insurance executives as they conspire and embezzle. Nurses as they sell opiates to patients and people waiting outside, doped up patients who keep asking what happened to their cell phones if their families know they're there. You check out urgent care, where accident victims are forced to sign whatever it's put in front of them before they're brought inside. The furnace, where surgeons dispose of evidence of their botched operations. And the lobby, where it seems the same people are always sitting waiting for help that won't come. Oh god. We sure we're not in purgatory. Hello, you're not quite hell. You're not quite forced into eternal damnation. You're just in purgatory, and your purgatory is a doctor's waiting line that just never shrinks. Have fun! And of course, you spend time upstairs outside Director Corneli's office. The guards never leave, but her security isn't impenetrable. They just need to find a way through. It would be easier with Patamuster, but he's busy dealing with one crisis after another. I am concerned that we were given 3 envelopes to deliver, right? And we decided it's wise to spend, 2 nights investigating a problem. I could have gotten a look around in 1 night, surely. How big is this hospital? I mean, I arrived at 8 p.m. Buildings are normally not that massive. I can take a look through a whole 5-kilometer length shopping mall in 2 hours if I'm not browsing the stores but just walking. And you're telling me that you took 2 nights to search 1 hospital? What were you doing? Licking popsicles off walls? With your scrubs and lanyard, you're able to move freely around the hospital, but you're starting to feel watched. You're invisible to the regular guards, the dull-eyed men and women with black St. Basil polo shirts and bright yellow tasers. You keep seeing people with short-cropped hair, military boots, and black windbreakers that are just a little too heavy for the weather outside. The black jackets operate out of a sealed windowless office separated from the mostly abandoned rehab services wing by particle board walls and old office equipment. And they keep looking at you out of the corner of their eyes. The more time you spend in the administrative wing, the more they look at you. It's different people every time, but they're sure that they're professionals. You're not sure that they know who you are, but there are too many of them and they follow you too closely wherever you're in the public areas of St. Basil's. You don't want to approach the director's office until you know more, but you'll have to be careful. Any more mistakes will expose you and Patamuster's followers, a clear violation of Masquerade. Maybe it would have been less suspicious if you didn't spend there 2 nights, you know, I'm just saying. Did the place have no cameras for you to observe the thing from? Did you have to be in person on the administrative floor? Kinda oogling around for days? Okay. Okay, let's be retarded. I tracked down some tools. I'm going to drill through the wall between the old rehab services office and their office. I'll have to be smart to find the right spot to drill. Let's make shit ton of noise. This is a good idea. The obvious danger with this plan is that someone is going to spot you wheedling a hole in the wall, punch through the particle board, drag you into the guard office, and kick your ass. The trick is drilling through the right spot and of course not using noisy power tools. Every power tool is noisy, you idiot. It takes you less than an hour to track down some old tools down near the furnace. Spend a few minutes oiling the rusty hand drill, then you head to the empty rehab office and get to work. You have no difficulty finding a perfect spot to drill. You make a hole, then peek through the crack. This is perfect. You see an office with 4 guards and all of them are facing away from you. The office is brightly lit, yours is dark, and it looks like the hole you're making is beneath some kind of shelf. You carefully widen the hole until you can see clearly and take photos. You can only see one laptop screen, but it tells you everything you need to know. The guard clicks from the information on opioid drug prices to emails requesting shipments to various cities in Arizona, the roadmap of the Southwest to text messages from nurse here in St. Basil's. Ah, it all comes together. They aren't Second Inquisition assassins or some kind of specialized police task force. They're just running drugs. Security is heavy because St. Basil's is a pit and there are all kinds of junkies outside, that is all. You snap a few pictures and soon you have everything you need. You head back to your office next to the morgue and run a few searches on everything you saw in the guard room. This lets you confirm 2 things. First, yes, the people you were looking at were affiliated with an illicit opioid smuggling ring a few years back through a now dissolved private security company called Roadrunner. And while they changed their name, definitely back to the old tricks. Second, no, they have no connections and can find the SI. You try names, aliases, previous military or police affiliations, and their equipment. Nothing connects the 2 groups, so that's a relief. The Roadrunner guards are a constant presence. They're not paying attention to you, but hospital guards are increasingly aware of your activities. You spend a few nights! You spend a few nights scouting the hospital director's office, but you're gonna have to act soon. No shit, this was a 1 night's job and we have other envelopes to deliver. Mr. Carrier, Mrs. Carrier, actually, because you're a girl. I made you a girl. Where's your fucking brain gone? You have now spent 4 nights in a morgue. Could have done all of this in 1 night. Ah. Rum's hitting my head now. That's fine. Perfectly fine. Lettermaster has been unavailable for several nights, even though you made it clear you both need to act soon to make the upload. He returns to the morgue before 7 p.m. just as you're getting dressed after a shower. I want to know, the Bruja shouts back over his shoulders, his ragged voice echoing down the halls. Answers or you're cut off. The thin, pitiful wails of the ghouls reach your ears as they shrug into your leather jacket. The night Vitae, the blood of vampires. St. Basil's ghouls will soon resume aging if they don't go mad from withdrawal first. Serious threat Paternoster is making. The brewer stomps past you, his eyes burning, and slams his fist into one of the slab doors, denting the metal. He rips it off in its hinges and flings it against the wall. You know the reputation of rebels for their terrible fury, so you have to wait for the storm to pass. Finally, Paternoster squeezes his temples and crumples against the wall of the morgue. Dishes scrubs for a tweed jacket and bow tie like mid-century doctor on holiday. What happened, you ask? Rita May's dead. Rita May, the painfully thin caitiff, slept in the slab Paternoster just tore apart. Someone cut her head off. I found the body last night. I was stuck outside the hospital with it all day. Going to find who did this, Babylon, and I'm gonna kill them. He glares at you with red-rimmed eyes, as if you might be responsible. You're not sure you have time for this, but Paternoster looks haunted. Ah! I blew out my candle again. It's okay, we can let the smoke nicely rise around Myrta's face. It's a nice effect. It's like real life affects you. I like candles, in case you haven't noticed. My last supply of 2 candles ran out in 3 weeks. So it's like 5 pounds every 3 weeks to replenish them. Not bad. So I get to burn them. And it's not only good for rituals, it's good for smells. I just enjoy them. Let's see. Okay. I don't know how we're gonna run an impromptu medical examination and autopsy to see if we can learn anything, considering that this is a friggin' vampire corpse, which means that it has disintegrated by now, but let's do it. The headless, emancipated corpse is waiting for you in a metal gurney beneath a fluorescent lamp. Older vampires crumble to bones or dust upon final death, but Rita May was young. Decomposition is noticeable, but the body is still intact. Oh, okay. The head was severed using a sharp, heavy blade, not a claw, which is always a possibility. No one's borrowed Duncan or Connor, Paternoster says, putting his invisible swords. The other noticeable injury is the punchline mark in the back that pierced the heart. Use the tweezers to pull splinters out of the flesh. Staked, Paternoster says, discounting the unlikely possibility that Rita May fell out of the window and landed on some upside-down table leg. That narrows down the search to people who knew how to paralyze a vampire. But more importantly, there's noticeable deformation around Rita May's back. Whoever slammed the stake into her back did it with superhuman force. It narrows it down further. Someone used their undead strength to guarantee that the stake would pierce flesh and muscle to reach its target. Finally, though you have no head to examine, you can see minor wounds around the clavice just below the clean severing line. Erosion caused by Rita May's body crumbling upon her final death? Maybe. But you also see similar wounds on her toes and ankles and one on her palm. You examine her clothes, a long dress, open-toed sandals, the dresses chewed up to the hem. Oh! I know who those are, the rat guides. You nod. Whoever destroyed Rita May summoned creatures of the night to attack her, then drove a stake into her back with superhuman strength. Any powerful vampire could develop these powers, but there aren't any powerful vampires here except Paternoster. He doesn't control rats. Stercorius does, the Nosferatu. It's easy to forget how fast one of the rebels can move. Paternoster flashes down the hallway and then down the stairs into Stercorius' private haven. He's a black outline in the glow of a single yellow bulb, and then the bats descend. And then the bats get torn to pieces because Paternoster pulls his 2 katanas out and noticing and turns into an undead. Poising the art for a few seconds, the bats patter to the ground, halved or quartered. Paternoster flicks to Duncan and Connor, splashing blood all over walls and ceilings, and keeps going. See, we are close to friggin' pest control with katanas. Now, if only I could, like, learn from this guy how to turn my katana invisible, because a janitor with a katana just looks really odd. You step carefully so you don't slip as the Brewhouse stalks forward, covered in blood and wings. Ah, that must be quite the sight. Then Stercorius bolts out of the shadows, crackling the tiles with the natural strength of his jump. Patermaster dodges, faster than you can track, and slams both his swords through the Nosferatu's ribcage. Stercorius clatters and screams as he tumbles end over end with both the swords through his chest. He rolls to a stop at your feet. You can feel the rebel's fury boiling off him. This is not just mindless rage, but righteous disgust at what Sewer Rat has done. Murderer! Patermaster whispers. He wrenches the swords out of the Stercorius, twisting them as they come out, and the fallen vampire groans in pain. She was! Rita May betrayed you, Master, not May. She was moving opiates with the Roadrunners. Those black-jacket guards, she realized I knew she would have. We don't destroy people for what they might do. Are you a prince? He kicks Stercorius across the dark and dingy room. He smashes through a chair before rolling to a halt against a rusted filing cabinet, but then the rebel sees you and stops. Perhaps the word prince made him hesitate. His authority is considerable here in his domain, but that Patermaster is no prince. You don't represent the Prince of Tuscan, let alone whoever runs Phoenix after the sigh and beckoning depopulated it, but Prince Leto will want full accounting of what happened here. That's complication for both you and Patermaster. So he says, looking down at Stercorius, grinding his teeth to master his rage. What would a real prince do? No. Neither of us have responsibility here. You can drive him to Prince Leto or whoever runs Phoenix, but I'm not losing my head because we overstepped our authority. Really not my problem. This. So what's done is done. Dude didn't think that he was doing something bad. Because he thought that another vampire selling drugs was bad enough to require killing for. And you have like 6 people at your disposal in total, like 6 undead here. Taking out like 1 more does not really help your situation. It's not like undead are easy to come about. I mean, the undead can be easy to combat, but these are too stubborn to populate, so they normally don't. Meaning a live Nosferatu with experience is a lot more useful than a dead Nosferatu. You're right, Patermaster says. Even today, elders have a habit of coming out of the woodwork and demanding obedience or claiming that you violated some unwritten code or another. Don't want you driving Stercorius back to Tuscan, though. That would give Leto too high an opinion of himself, and here in Phoenix there's only, let's just do what we can tonight, and I can worry about the rest once you're done here. You're not sure where Patermaster got the broken chair leg. It appears in his hand in a split second before he drives it through the Nosferatu's heart. Look, if he's carrying around invisible katanas, he can carry around invisible chair legs too. Until matters are settled here. That should keep Stercorius from destroying anyone else without my permission. You and Patermaster finish your investigation by cataloging everything in Stercorius' private haven and making sure there's nothing valuable. There isn't, except of course for his battered file cabinet, which contains hard copies about the Roadrunner agent's distribution network. Finally, the 2 of you head back to the morgue. It's been a successful night, though. Moment the Rita's mystery has been solved, Patermaster starts worrying about the promised expansion of the hospital. Yeah, something that you were supposed to be worrying about like 6 fucking days ago. It is! It is like 6 fucking days. I carry envelopes. I deliver envelopes. I don't sit in one place for 6 freaking days. Hello, Jade! Trying to fix problems that are really not my problem. It's actually pretty good. Not very engaging when it comes to audience, because people don't tend to like just hearing others read and stare at things, which is, you know, fair enough. But I am personally quite enjoying it. It has to be tonight. Well, of course it has to be tonight. You guys wasted 6 fucking days. Wednesdays are frantic all day and quiet at night, with frequent callouts among the St. Basil guards. Oh, good! Good! I like to hear when people's lives are going the way that they should be going and not... No exploding computers. Exploding computers are just no fun. The Roadrunner guards are also unusually quiet on Wednesdays, since they're busiest on the weekends and lie low in between activity cycles. After the destruction of Rita May and the revelation of her involvement with the opioid sales, St. Basil's kindred have been subdued, which is good. They'll stay out of trouble. Oh. Sorry to hear that. So doesn't it mean that if you have high taxes that you also earn a lot? You and Patermaster have spent a lot of nights surveying Director Cartelli's office that you have a good sense of its layout. It's the far end of the executive administration wing behind a door that's locked and guarded the moment the director leaves in the evening until she returns an hour after dawn. Actually, have I been feeding? Oh! Okay. Me training that victim on accident a while ago? Keeping me good for like last week, apparently. Oh. Yikes. At least I won't have to deal with that issue, considering that I'm probably off everybody's pills by now. It's fine. It's fine. I didn't need people anyway. That'd do it. Yeah, that's the attitude. I love all of this. I do. I love what I do. And I love how I look. And the hoods are the bestest. This is now my 4th clothing item with a hood. I can look like I am part of some sort of cult that's gonna sacrifice you 4 days out of a full week. Yeah. Okay, we do have a good sense of the layout, but we have spent in here like a full week, which we really shouldn't have. I don't know where my character's brains are at. It's at the far end of the executive administration wing, behind a door that's locked and guarded the moment the director leaves in the evening. She returns an hour after dawn. There's normally 2 guards, except on Wednesdays where there's only one on duty. The only other entrance is through a high, narrow window you would have to climb down from the ceiling to reach. Why the heck would this ever be the case? Except for gameplay reasons. We had to cut budget, so we just fired one of the guys, but just for Wednesdays only. That is like the most randomest guard distribution that I've ever heard. The office itself is sparse, with an old computer, a meeting table, and old metal filing cabinets full of hard copies the doctors of hospital administrators constantly have to access. No wonder she wants to upgrade this place. The computer is an ancient desktop model, which makes it unexpectedly secure. You'll have to physically access it. The good news is that Patermaster clinged to the wall outside the window and watched Director Cartelli enter the passport last night. So you have access. If we know how the office looks, isn't it correct to say that we have been here before and that we could have done this a bit sooner? The executive administration wing is blanketed with cameras, but that's where Patermaster comes in. His office is right down the hall. Right down the hall! From the security monitoring station, he's waiting to throw the big reset switch, which will give you the time you need to act. Then all you'll need to do is reach the director's old desktop unit and enter the password. After triggering the alarm, you know the security's tight. It might be best to employ your Lobo rather than testing your luck. Yeah, there's always like plenty of choices. I am playing a gangrel with like the weirdest freaking stats. Not that I could select stats, but I mean I could select answers. Ah, my morale. My morale is going somewhere. That's nice, considering that I'm losing my humanity. I better get conviction somewhere. But yeah, I am very academical friggin' gangrel. Also very intelligent, lots of wits and resolve. I'm actually surprised how high my character's stats are because that is a lot of dots. Like, I would expect that it would be easier to just like have a tiny bit of dots everywhere than it is to like max something out. But characters come specialized, I guess. I don't really need to feed. I'm fine. I mean, I ate somebody. That's only because I decided to heal to full and went from 2 hunger to 4 and was like, oh shit, and then couldn't stop eating. You know what? I have an okay technology in Resolve, so maybe the guard takes a 10-minute break at midnight. I'll take Iron Nerves to hack the door lock in time, but I can do it. Patermaster was able to uncover the director's computer password, but the office door uses a keycard system not used anywhere else in the hospital, and worse, you have been able to get close enough to take a look at it. So you'll be going in blind. You hurry to the executive administration offices, which are empty except for the custodian emptying the recycling bins, and settle in to watch the guard from one of the few positions that isn't under the camera surveillance. He leaves to take a piss. He takes a 10-minute piss at midnight? Wow! That's very timely of him. He attacks Patermaster and he kills the cameras. Then you get to work. You relax when you realize that this isn't a high security model, it's just a pretty standard keycard reader. Like the ones they use in hotels. Your phone isn't ideal for this kind of work. Fortunately, you carry plenty of peripherals. There's nothing on this lock that prevents you from pulling up its memory, no authentication requirements, so you just mess around for a minute until you find the door open code. Door pops open, you're in. You pull all the wires and junk out of the card reader and slip inside. The old CPU boots right up and the password works. Most of St. Basil's feels like it was entombed in 2003. You know, I would love to visit that at this point. I don't presume that the rest of the 21st century will be all that much better. I think we're speedrunning 1900s, but you know, that's just me. So a place that looks like a pristine 2003. I would take a place that looks like a pristine 2003. I could use some nostalgia right now. Yes, he pisses for 10 minutes, exactly at midnight each time. He is a very timely guard. The computer has a USB port and you slide your weapon right in. My weapon. You got a text from Patermaster. Upload the virus. Get everything you can from that computer. He's watching you from his own computer or one of his tech-savvy lackeys is. There's probably someone downstairs who knows you're not here to upload a virus. It's a program that plants incriminating information in a number of spreadsheets accessible by other members of the hospital staff. So now you're faced with a question. According to Prince Leto, the falsified records on this USB, once injected into the computer's old and proprietary database program, will trigger such a financial meltdown, and Director Cartel's future plans for redevelopment will be scrapped for at least a decade, leaving Patermaster and his creatures to continue their own lives in peace. So if you do that, both Patermaster and Leto will be grateful. Or you could transfer whatever Julian sent you along with the USB. That'll let the two of you effectively take control of the hospital. Boundless opportunities will follow if you believe Julian. You'll probably earn his trust with this act. Of course, Patermaster will react the way Brewer always react to betrayal. That'd be one hell of a fight, and he has those swords. Or you could just get rid of these creatures. There's no staunch humanist, but isn't there something pathetic about Patermaster and his caitiffs scattering for blood here in St. Basil's? You wouldn't make enemies of everyone if you let the redevelopment go through, but St. Basil's would stop being such a black hole of despair and disease. God, what would other Outlanders think of your newfound sense of humanity? What? So... Did you update? Did you update my phone? Phone? Or is this one of those random times when your phone just... Really? Yep, okay, you're moving. That's good. We haven't crashed. I'm slightly concerned because the more you handle the occult, the more like a La Sombra you become and things just explode around you, which isn't very nice. And I kinda need this for my alarm. Oh, come on. You can do this. You can do this, phone. Don't you die on me. Else I would need to sleep in my office. I literally don't have any mechanical alarms. That's why I hate updates. You can just break things. You at least bypass the logos, please. Furnace. Okay. Okay. I'm finishing. Woohoo! Sorry. Phone hasn't bricked. I didn't brick my phone with my own presence. Whew. Okay. Let's just say that I need to prove my loyalty to the Camarilla. Because I'm still going after that Eagle Prince's ass. Like, that's just a thing that I'm gonna be doing. Even if the Eagle Prince does not acknowledge my existence, I can still be like, Senpai, please notice me. Gangrel girl right here. You got an awesome eagle, I have a wolf. Eagles and wolves, you know how well those go together. It's like a match made in heaven, I'm telling you. Takes less than a minute to upload the virus. Doesn't seem like anyone is going to check on it on the office soon. So once that's done, you also transfer a bunch of data from the director's computer onto your phone, as Patermaster has requested. That can't be a lot of data because phones have like stupid tiny memory systems. Like this one is like what, 16 gigs? The issue is that the majority of the 16 gigs is bloody Windows. So I can take what, like 20 pictures. I keep on deleting them from time to time. I'm only keeping the essential programs on. So once that's done, after a few minutes you decided that you're taking enough risks for one night. The door has a peephole, so you wait around until the guard goes on another break and leave the way you came in. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like too sad about the fact that this phone can't take a lot of pictures because all the pictures look like they have been taken like 1997 anyway. Which, some people have said go really well with my aesthetic, because then I can take pictures of myself with a flash and just pretend that I actually looked exactly the same 20 years ago. And like, casually mention that in conversation if I would ever get these pictures printed. Like, this is just me in 1997, and then people are like staring at you like you're true undead, and you're like, nah. Yeah, vintage. Vintage. But it's not the best quality. It's very hard to get anything that like looks actually right, but it's fine for what I do. It's good enough for me. I might get an actual photo camera at some point for actual pictures. You and Shadow reunite with Patermaster down in the morgue, where he's pumping his fists as a thin blood on a gambling laptop watches with a worried expression because she can't tell if he's incredibly happy or insanely mad. Oh, poor lady! Oh, poor guy! Babylon! Patermaster shouts, his eyes full of blood. You did it, you brilliant girl! You did it! We're safe! Oh, thank God we're safe! He pulls you into an embrace. Then punches a brick wall because he's so happy! Showering all three of you in dust. You transfer the contents of Director Grell, its hard drive, to Thin Blood's gaming laptop. Get on that, would you? Patermaster tells Decky. Then he shakes your hand while handling your roll of 20s. And you, Babylon, you deserve more than money. Stay here for a few nights, I'll teach you some tricks I know. How's that? Patermaster is eager to teach you, or really to offer you whatever you need. He makes sure you have plenty of blood. The night after your successful job, he's eager to teach you. Ooh, Celerity Obfuscate, Potence and Presence. More power! Yes! I mean, if you look at my stats, I have fucking not mastered my own disciplines. I have Animalism and Protein 1. But, you know, being what I am. Being what I want. I want potence. I really kind of want potence. Patermaster waves you into a chair and rolls up his sleeve. You drink from his wrist and feel all the range and power burning through your brain. There's fury that's the hallmark of Clan Bruja, underlaid with a fierce protectiveness. Patermaster isn't that old, but you feel like you can taste centuries of sorrow and rage and disappointment in his veins. Don't get emotional, kid. It's time you learned how to really kick ass! And The next few nights are a whirlwind of punishing training. You spend half the night in single agonizing position, your blood frozen in your veins, not even moving with gravity or the strange occult components of your undead body. And you spend half a day doing the same thing, locked in a closet, every cell in your body screaming for rest. But you fight on through the exhaustion and unlock Paternoster's secrets. Okay, apparently we're learning blood magic through meditation, because that's what the single agonizing position sounds like. Apart from the agonizing lessons, you treat it like an honored guest for the next few nights. Paternoster makes sure you have easy access to blood and none of the creeps hassle you. One mystery still remains in the back of your mind. Who killed Miguel, Prince Leto's retainer? You roll out of St. Basil's parking lot with your veins full of blood and your pockets full of cash and head back into Tuscan. So it looks like you stopped the hospital's planned renovation. Prince Leto will be happy, though it means you further entangle yourself with the Camarilla. A few miles southeast of town, you pull and swap out the license plates. When you pass the Motel 6 where you dropped off your old phone, you can see that it's been burned to the ground. It's been leveled so thoroughly you have to check your map to make sure you're looking at the right place because it's just gone. You stop about half an hour outside of Phoenix to sleep here in the sun for bugs. You don't find anything unusual. It looks like no one really paid attention to your truck. But your thoughts turn to everything you learn about Roadrunner guards and their opioid smuggling. You can certainly pull what you have learned to use. You know what? I'm gonna be going full Camarilla this time, this read, just because I am really hot for the prince, for the Eagle Prince. Bloody hell! That's like the dumbest reason to join the organization. It's like, yep. I'm just like, I'm fully in just because I can flirt with you, you old bastard. And not like he's it's not like he's even answering positively to me. You stop at a print shop back in Tuscan and make hard copies of everything you learned and hand it over to Prince Leto in a really fancy looking folder. The camera will love that sort of thing. Back in Tuscan by 3 AM, another job done. Early the next night, you roll past the Viper. One of the Prince Leto's people recognizes you and hands you a payment. Take a moment to make sure the money adds up. You return to the parking garage and park Vanessa, and you secure your parking garage, reckoning the security systems you established upon moving in, and go to sleep. That day you dream of flying, but this isn't really a regular flying dream. No, this isn't even a dream. A memory, or is it real? You're in an old single-engine prop plane high above the desert at night. You can almost reach out and touch the moon. You spot the Italian fighter plane too late, and a moment later its twin wickers and ripping into the wings of an Albatross D3. You twist through the air, but it's getting late and the rising currents of hot air you rely on are almost depleted. Bullets shred your engine. The black smoke would choke you if you breathed. For the past 3 weeks, it had seemed as if all of the Sahara held only 2 planes. In seconds, you realize it will only hold 1. Flames spread across the cockpit as you contemplate what you learned in these last few horrific weeks. January 1918. That's the person that we dreamed. That's the person that we ate. That's whose memories it is. Right now, revolutions are breaking out all over mortal world because people want something better. Existence cannot go on like this. Something new must arise in the world of the Canaanites. But what? Whatever it is, you know it will involve dreadful sacrifices as well as clear vision of the future. What awaits you in this new century? And more importantly, can you shape it to your own will? Through toil and cunning, can you create a better world for all Canaanites? Thanks for the cheery music, RuneScape. I suggest doing all readings of really grim stories to really happy RuneScape music. It's just an completely different level. I know things will change, but I'm not visionary. Let's be realistic here, folks, okay? Passage of time happens. One day Myrta is gonna be a good old granny. And hopefully she will have lived a life that she'd taken great joy in. Because that's kind of the most important thing. Do what you think will make you happy, rather than adhere to like anybody else. But you can't be one of a billion, one of 7 billion, or in case of Canaanites, one of like 16 million. I think that's about the right number. And be like, yeah, I am the one that's gonna lead change. You can be in currents of change. You can be a part of change, but change isn't like a one-person process. So I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I'm the leader. You shake off these straight notions of a better world and drag yourself out of sleep. You're not in North Africa during the Great War. You're not Ayla. Ayla is dead and gone. You're Babylon, and the sun has just said you have work to do. You learned quite a bit on your journeys. You might want to consider applying your experience towards training skills, abilities, or the dark arts of the kindred. Okay, where can I unlock deeper and more powerful secrets of the blood? A vampire's haven is where she can escape the sun come dawn. It's also where you can hone your supernatural powers. However, the dingy converted office in the middle of a parking complex isn't really a haven. You struggle to master your supernatural arts while on the road, constantly running from place to place, but now that you're in Tuscan for at least a few months, it might be time to put down your roots here and establish a secure haven from which to develop your powers. You only have a cheap room, maybe something nicer and more secure will help you advance disciplines to higher levels. Okay, so from this haven now I can train his animalism and fortitude. And I kind of want to pick up a single point in animalism, and I kind of want to pick up the first point in fortitude, honestly. Ah, you need a more secure haven, okay. Let's pick up 1 fortitude. Let's go somewhere else. How much money do we have? I wanna see this. Okay, we have like 2,000 money. No vehicle damage. Well, can I rent something better? Acquiring property as a Canaanite isn't easy. Some nights you think the whole point of Camarilla is to make sure vampires can buy property. Everything else the Camarilla does, useful and monstrous, falls out of the need to make sure everyone has a roof overhead. Still, you can't live in the modified office of the parking garage forever. You struggle to master your dark gifts on the road, but the truth is that you need a secure, comfortable haven if you're to unlock the deeper secrets of your arts. Further, moving house should reduce TSI's ability to track you at least for a little while. After asking around, you learn that any real estate purchased by vampires goes through Prince Leto. He owns a place called Madrigal Real Estate, which handles the needs of people like you. The middle-aged native woman who rents the place, Anna, explains the situation. The problem isn't just that you can't head down to the real estate office at 3 in the afternoon. Your legal identity is a cobbled-together fiction that's always changing. It's a shame to avoid scrutiny. You could use your ID to buy some Four Loko, and it's enough to let you own a car, but property. I can show you some excellent places, Anna says, with excellent ways to escape in the sewers in the event of emergency, but will require a substantial upfront payment. That's how we handle legal hurdles. We don't want anyone investigating your identity wondering why your ages don't match up, understand? You're not. It's obviously Leto is getting his beak wet here, but in exchange he's providing you with some degree of security you're investigating. Well then, let's see what we can do for you. I'm not too sure I can actually afford anything. But let's examine the bungalow. Oh! Okay. I can afford that. What about 2-bedroom apartment? You're pleasantly surprised. The 2-bedroom isn't nice by mortal standards, but it's clean and quiet with windows that lock from the inside, heavy curtains already installed, and a crawl space between the second floor where you'll be and the third. There's all sorts of ways in and out, Anna explains, showing you the door hidden in the bathroom that leads.
Started this sailor brave-hearted did smuggle, skullduggle, and steal. Oh, lies!
Yes, RuneScape music.
Had emptied his tank and was thirsty for rummy yappy. No, he won't. So spill me grog.
As rum as can be.
As far as the scope can see.
There are all sorts of ways in and out. Anna explains, showing you the door hidden in the bathroom that leads to an utility closet, which in turn leads into the main hallway. There's rooftop access to parking, you ask. She parts the thick curtain and points down to where you're allowed to park. It's north facing too. Every second counts, right? Biggest drawback is the terrible kitchen, and you don't care about that. Okay, let's get the 2-bedroom apartment, because even if we can afford the penthouse, okay, we want to have at least some money in our wallet. After some more haggling, you agree to purchase a 2-bedroom apartment. There's almost no paperwork on your part. You just hand over the envelope full of cash and Anna hands you the key. Vampires deal like really cheap real estate, for real. Like Julia and Anna is particularly interested in your security plans. You got your sliding walls, of course, your hired assassins trained from birth in the arts of quiet murder. $1,400 gets us quiet assassins, folks. Your poison gas bombs, your runes of death, of course, like Knowles used to favor, and of course there's mechanical locks, electric locks. You let her ramble because you know you'll have to secure your new place and any further place you move into. You'll move in tonight and secure your new havens. You'll furnish over the next week or two so it looks like a real human lives here, but right now you have a place where you can develop your supernatural gifts in peace. Let's see, I wanna rank up animalism. Woo! And somehow we got extra experience points from buying shit. So you know what you're pretty into. I'm good. I'm good. And the next time when we continue, we're probably gonna be taking the parcel for Nvidia Cal. I'm surprised that they're like not too sad about us taking so much time with these missions. I'm happy that we could help people in the hospital though, but Jesus Christ, we took a week to deliver a fucking envelope. If I was a prince, I would be pissed. I mean, I did bring quite a lot of information to the camera, so there's that, but still, that took bloody forever. So anyways, thank you all for hanging out with me, guys, and I will see you the next time. Toodaloo.